Ms. Jackson, it's my understanding you're suing Mr. King for injuries that you received when he was trying to color your hair.
I think in America it's a very common thing to do that. In Europe, not so much. Or in Belgium, not so much. But can happen.
$20,500 for your past medicals, $20,000 for your future medicals, and $102,500 for pain and suffering, for a total award of $143,000.
That's a lot of money.
And Mr. King, you believe if she had followed your professional advice, she would have gotten the hair color she wanted and you all would not be here in court. Is that true?
Correct, Your Honor.
I really don't understand. So if she followed your advice, none of this would happen. I think it's a color because there are injuries and you can have heavily damage from bleaching, because I think this will be bleaching, or she had an allergic attack. That's also possible. And then he's responsible for not testing, because you need to test every client that comes in. Even if she did it a regular base, everybody can have an allergic reaction, although they colored 20 years. Every hairdresser is obligated to do that. In practice, it doesn't happen much. You have to be honest with that. So what happened?
Tell me what led you to try to get your hair colored.
I'm recently divorced and I manage a coffee shop, and I see everybody come in and with new styles, new trends. And so I thought to myself, you know what, Lucinda, you deserve a new hairstyle and a new hair color. I had long brown hair, bangs, and that was my hairstyle.
This is what you looked like before you met Mr. King.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, this is very dark, and if I see hair that's coming out of the scarf, it's really blonde. So to go from that dark to blonde, it's impossible to do that in one session.
Mr. King, this seems like a simple matter to change hair. I mean, I'm not one to talk, but changing it from brown to blonde, that seems like a simple matter.
No, never. It's never a simple matter, because from that dark, and she was really dark, this is not easy. And many of the clients come in the salon and said, I want platinum blonde, and I said, it's impossible. I will not do it.
There is a process. If you look at the photograph, she was a true brunette. And to go to that level, that is a two-part process.
Yeah, he's right. It's not just happening in one session. So how come that you did it anyway?
She's been a customer now for right at 13 years. And I know you know a lot about hairdressers, but we're like bartenders. So she becomes more than that. They sit down in your chair, they tell me her whole life story, the divorce. She's looking for a new man. And I said, not with this same old look, you cannot.
So you said to your client, if you want to meet a new man, you will not have that with the look that you have. Really? You said that. I know you are already 13 years in that salon and you become very good friends, but I will never dare to say that.
I was going over the looks I wanted with Mr. King, and the first photo you see is the hair color that I was going for.
No, that's a big no. The level of brown you are, oh my God. Listen, you're not the first one, and you will not be the last one that comes in the salon with very dark hair and you want that platinum blonde. Regularly, we have that question. It's our obligation to explain it's not possible. You cannot just say it's not possible. You have to explain why. And still, there are customers that says, I want it. It's your job to say, I will not do it. Look very closely what's happening here. Just say no.
Well, he said it was possible. My friends have gotten it before, so I was going for that color.
Were your friends as dark as you are? Because it's not because your friends has blonde color, because maybe they didn't have any dark color on top of that. Maybe they were not that dark. Maybe they're already dark blonde, medium blonde. There are different reasons. You cannot say, my friends have it, so I can have it. It's not like buying a Porsche. My friends have a Porsche and I can buy a Porsche. Or my friends has a white house. I want a white house. This is different. Every person is different.
I told her that it was impossible to go from as dark of a brunette as she was to the blonde that she wanted. It was a process that would have to take at least 2 times.
Minimum. I would say 3 times.
Why wasn't that satisfactory?
My friends have gotten it done in one day. He's the professional. I thought he knew what he was doing.
Oh, it's not because we are professionals that we have a magic stick that you can say, boop, here it is, you're blonde. It's not because we are professionals that we are capable of doing everything. There are limits. But again, as a hairdresser, as a professional, you need to explain very clearly why. Maybe why is it possible for your friend and not for you? You made her mad because you said, with that look, you can never have a new friend. You said it yourself. So now she wants something different. A lot of different.
I sat down in the chair with Mr. King.
Okay.
And he was putting the color in my hair. And I sat there for like 3 hours.
With that color or with different colors?
It did not take that long. It never takes that long. If it took that long, I mean, everybody would be out of business.
Well, if you want to go from brown to blonde, it will even not go in 3 hours. It will take a whole day. It's impossible to go in less than 3 hours to go from that brown to that blonde. That's impossible.
So what happened?
I was sitting in the chair and my scalp is burning really bad. And I asked Mr. King, is this normal to feel this way? And he replied that, yes, it's fine.
No, it's not fine. It's not fine. If it burns, rinse it out. Of course, if you use bleach, it will hurt a little bit, but never bleach the roots. Never touch the scalp. Leave it for like a ½ centimeter. Do the length. The worst thing that can happen if you are damaged the length, but you did not hurt the scalp. The scalp is for the last stage if you are happy with the length.
My hair started falling out in chunks in my lap. In chunks. I was horrified. I ran out of the salon as fast as I could. Your Honor, I feel like a monster.
Oh my God! This is terrible. Of course, this will not be visually in the salon. This will happen in the next hours or the next day or the evening, the night. This is a process. It's still burning because the product is in your scalp. Look very closely what is happening here with bleach, and not because one hairdresser is doing that. Of course, he's a professional and he should not do that because he believed very strongly that it was not possible. Maybe she pushed him and forced him to do that, but still you are a boss of your own salon and you can say, I will not go any further, but still he did it and that's his fault. But if you do it by yourself, if you bleach your hair by yourself with a high volume and you go from brunette to blonde, this is what can happen. Look very closely. This is terrible.
It's totally not like it's supposed to happen. I've been in business for all these years. Nothing like this has ever happened.
Luckily.
I had to calm her down. She wouldn't listen, but I got her calmed down. I said, Lucinda, it's going to grow back. I'm going to give you these nurturing things.
So her hair, she's not stuck with this?
No, it'll eventually come back if she's going to have to nurture it. It's just like a wound.
But this is way, way too late. I know you are trying to fix it and it's a very good thing. You are responsible and you need to fix it. That's correct. From the first time, you said it already. You explained to her it's not possible in one time, but she pushed you. You eventually did it. I guess you thought that the worst thing that could happen was damaged hair. Not this. I think you are also underestimated the power of bleach.
I offered her the products. I offered to give her one of my custom wigs until the hair grew out. These are $1,500 wigs until this hair starts coming back. I didn't do this on purpose.
Oh my God, and I strongly believe that you did not do this on purpose. You strongly underestimated the power of bleach, but this is a step already very far past of I will give you some products to restore. If the roots and the follicles are damaged, some areas will not grow back. It's like burnt from a fire or something. Then you have permanent damage on your scalp or on permanent damage on your skin. I have never seen that before and I hope I will never see that again.
$1,500 wig.
Oh my
Yes,
God.
You're talking about money and she's got this kind of injury?
I'm giving it to her for free. I'm giving it
It's
to her.
$1,500. She paid $1,500 to get her hair back right now.
Now I understand the medical bills, past and future, because I strongly believe this will be a treatment for a lifetime. I don't know it will be covered. I think it will be wigs. I hope I'm wrong. I'm hoping I'm wrong, but this will be wigs for the rest of her life.
I can't even go outside of my house. I can't. I'm afraid. I'm afraid to show my face at work. I can't go to work. I can't make money. I want to date and meet new people. I don't want. Look at me. I can't do this.
This is terrible. This is terrible. Nobody deserves this. Maybe she bullied him and threatened him for not coloring her hair. A little piece is responsible because she wanted, but then again, he's the professional. He's gotta say no. Sometimes a client comes in my salon and I say, no, I will not do it. You can go to my colleagues, no problem, but I will not be the one who is responsible for damaged hair. And this is not just damaged hair. But as a professional, you have to say no if it's not possible. And he knew that.
You tell Miss Jackson that it takes 2 visits to do what she wanted.
Correct, Your Honor.
If she had done 2 visits, would that have taken care of the problem? Would she have this kind of result?
She would not have this kind of result, not at all.
Would her hair be blonde?
Yes, if she had followed what I recommended from the start, and I even recommended that it was the
explain
wrong
that.
color. I told her, this is not even who you are. It doesn't go with your skin tone. In other words, everything she showed me, I told her from the start, was not what she needed.
But you need to stand with your point if you strongly believe, and I know the client is king. If the client wants something, but it doesn't mean you have to do it. I know you're planning an appointment and you are afraid of losing some money. You are afraid of losing a client. This is worse. If you are losing the client, maybe that's better than having this kind of disasters. And it doesn't have to be so bad. If you are doing it anyway and the client's hair is fried, it doesn't have to be that bad. But if the client's hair is fried, you lose them anyway. So what's the point? If you don't do it, you lose them. If you do it and you fry their hair, you lose them too. I'd rather have somebody who says, I went to that hair salon, they didn't want to do it, or they did it and look at it.
Here's the biggest problem of all. Okay.
That's not the biggest problem
No,
of all?
it's not the biggest problem of all.
Okay.
Because she did not want to listen.
It's not like she doesn't want to listen, that you eventually has to do it. I keep repeating myself, but it's the power of yourself. If you don't apply it, nothing happens. Maybe she can be there in your salon for a whole day in a corner with a face down the ground, but if you don't apply it, nothing happens. And she can turn your salon upside down, but if you don't apply it, nothing happens.
I put the color on the hair. It goes for the 50 minutes. End of story. The timer goes off. It shuts down. Hair shuts down. It will not lift it up to the next level to be this platinum blonde that she wants.
You hear that so many times, but bleaching goes way further than 50 minutes. And a lot of hairdressers says after 50 minutes it stops. No, it's not. Eventually it will stop, but not after 50 minutes.
Miss Jackson, did Mr. King tell you that it takes 2 visits?
Yes, Your Honor. But he's done. My friends have gotten it done in 1 day.
Again, were your friends as dark as you are?
Well, why were you in such a hurry? Why couldn't you have waited?
I had a date that night with my boyfriend, and I was excited.
Did you do some highlights in that brown color and soften it? Then it will be a very nice look too, and you will have a new look too. Of course, it's the first look that is very important, but if you go on a date and you talk to the person, eventually it's the inside and not just the outside.
Do you regret now not being patient?
The only thing I regret is going to Mr. King.
Even now she's not admitting it, that she has a little piece of guilt in this process. But then again, he applied it.
This court is calling on Mr. David Barron, who is the owner of Barron's London Salon. He's an expert in hair coloring. So, Sheriff Matt, will you get Mr. Barron for us?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, I'm very curious what he's going to say about this. I'm sure he's going to say that it's not possible in one session.
It's attainable, not in one visit though.
Here we go. But the hairdresser knew that already.
The process would be about 45 minutes for each application. But we did do a video to show the process.
So I'm very, very, very happy that he's also saying that it's not possible in one session. So now he's going to show you a video that they tested strands of hair with bleach.
We applied the bleach with 20 volume.
Hear that? 20 volume.
And we let it process for 50 minutes, took it out, washed it, and you can see it's just totally ruined. It's fallen apart. The cuticle, the cortex, the medulla of the hair, it's nothing, it's stripped.
So with 20 volumes, it's still so damaged. Of course, it's not real hair, but still, the reason is because it left it too long on your hair. So after 30 minutes, you rinse it out. Sometimes I see videos of people coloring their hair with 40 volumes on the scalp and leaving it for 1 hour. So they are so lucky that they don't have that. I hope this video will go viral so everybody will see what bleach is capable of.
As the timer went off, my shampoo stylist went up to Miss Jackson that was on her phone and she said, it's time to rinse your hair. I'm on the phone, I'll be with you in just a minute. Okay, she stood there for a couple of seconds, looked at me, got my attention, and she went to her again and said, Miss Jackson, now.
If you are in panic and you say, I need to rinse it now, it's because you're already seeing that something is happening. If I leave it for 30 minutes with 20 volumes, I don't care that they are on the phone for 1 minute. Of course, they don't have to be on the phone for 5 minutes. I will put the phone down and say, now you come. If the person is already saying, I need to rinse it now with some anxiety, then you already know that it was way too long on the head.
I said, Lucinda, now. She goes, puts her hand in my face.
Your Honor,
And I said, no, ma'am.
I went to the
And
bathroom.
she goes, I don't even go to the bathroom. So she runs to the bathroom.
I did. I went to the bathroom. I closed the
Jackson.
door behind me.
Oh my, oh my, oh my, oh my, oh my. This is clearly not just one mistake. She did not want to hear it about more than one session because her friends did it. He did it and he knew that it was not good. Left it for way too long. She didn't want to go off the phone. She went to the bathroom, locked her up.
This isn't just hair coloring, you're like a hair surgeon. Despite the fact that the client wants the surgery faster, you as a professional cannot speed that up.
That's very good explained. That's so true.
You've asked this court to award you $143,000, but I'm not going to give you $143,000. I'm going to award you $20,500 for your past medical bills, $20,000 for your future medical expenses, and instead of $102,500 that you seek for pain and suffering, I am awarding you $602,500
Oh my
for a total award of $643,000 in